I have clients ask me all the time, what kind of insurance should I have for myself and my family? And the answer is pretty simple. First, you want to get liability insurance. So if you cause an accident to somebody, will you have insurance to cover the damages that you've caused to that person and to protect your own assets? When you're thinking about liability insurance, everybody knows that you're supposed to have auto insurance in Wisconsin. What people sometimes don't remember is that you should also have home insurance or renter's insurance, is what people usually forget, to make sure that you have liability coverage for accidents that happen that don't involve a vehicle and might happen at your home. So that's the first thing. Make sure you have home liability and auto liability. The next thing is, for your auto liability policies, make sure that you talk with your insurance agent and that you get not just liability coverage, but uninsured motorist coverage and underinsured motorist coverage. Your agent will know what those things mean, but in Wisconsin, auto policies are required to have uninsured motorist coverage if you get a liability policy, but they are not required to have underinsured motorist coverage, and that's the biggest mistake I see people make. They will talk with their agent, they will get liability insurance, and they will get uninsured motorist coverage, and they will not pay attention to the underinsured motorist coverage, and they only realize that that's a mistake when they are injured by somebody and they have $100,000 of damages and the other driver only has $25,000 of insurance. That driver is not uninsured, and if you don't have underinsured motorist coverage, your recovery from that other driver is going to be limited to $25,000 when you've had $100,000 in damages. You will leave yourself undercovered. The final thing that I tell people to do is to buy as much insurance as they can comfortably afford. And that answer is different for everybody in terms of what they can afford. But think of it this way. If you're backing out of your driveway and you back into another vehicle parked in your driveway and the vehicle's not harmed, nobody's injured, nobody's harmed, no harm, no foul. If you engage in the same negligent act, but you run over a child on a big wheel and kill that child, you have done the exact same negligent act, but you have caused drastically different consequences. We call accidents for a reason. Nobody's planning to cause them, and when they happen, the consequences can be unpredictable and catastrophic. So when you think about buying auto insurance, you need to think about, what does the average injury generate in terms of damages? And in my experience, what I see and what I tell clients is, if you have $1 million of insurance coverage, it probably covers 99% of the injuries I see. If you have $2 million of insurance coverage, it probably covers 99.99% of the injuries I see. And if you cause an accident and you cause more than $2 million of damages, then you are probably in a range of injuries that the amount of damages is so high that there's no amount of insurance coverage that you can comfortably afford that would cover it. So I typically tell clients to think about getting upwards of $2 million of insurance if they can afford it. If they can't, get as much as you possibly can and keep trying to up those limits as much as you can, because everybody in the personal injury world will demonize insurance companies, appropriately so, because they will play games with you when you have a claim against them. But one of the very first things that you will want to look for if you are injured in an accident is there a recovery source out there I can recover from? And if the other driver doesn't have enough insurance, you will be extremely grateful that you had the foresight to plan ahead and put enough insurance in place for yourself so that you and anybody else injured in your accident is covered.